Okay, so I'm going to edit some photos from the workshop that I did on the beach recently. I've already edited some maternity ones, so if you haven't seen that, you can go back and have a look at that video. But in this one, I'm going to edit a couple of the motherhood photos that I took with Harriet and her 2 children. Harriet's also expecting a third, so you'll see themes of that throughout some of these photos. This is just a really small selection. I probably won't edit all of these, but it'd be good to have a look because they're in kind of different locations. So I've just selected some storytelling ones really. We've got some feet, just a little moment on the sand, bug finding, and these are some of my favourite where we're laid down in the grasses and they're just having a snuggle with mummy's bump. So yeah, what I think is we'll start here because I'm here. I already know, I think I'm probably going to go amber on these. I used Tuscan for the maternity one. Sand is another one that isn't in my preset pack, but it's basically amber with some very slight adjustments. So for the purposes of showing you the presets that are available, we'll go with amber. So this was a quite, when I was teaching this, it was quite a tricky shot because the sun was still quite high, but we were shooting them a little bit earlier in the evening. So I basically had said to people, just sort of angle your camera down. So that's why it's kind of shot at this angle. So first of all, I'm just going to come in and let's warm that up a little bit. So let's just come in and crop this. Not sure. I might actually take this into Photoshop and do an expand crop on this and do a nice really big sky. I think I'm going to do that. So let's just reset this crop and we're just going to edit it as it is, and then I'm going to adjust the crop afterwards. So bottom up, but I am actually just going to lift the shadows a little bit on that. I still want the contrast. I'm just going to bring the warmth up a little bit. And then we're going to go people pop. And I might need to bring that up a little bit. Oh, apparently it can't find people. Let's do, let's see if I can do subject mask separately. Apparently it thinks it's a subject down there. Not quite. That will just do a manual. Okay. And then I'm going to come in with a sky mask. Actually, I'm probably use one of these. Warm and soft. Warm and bright, I think. Okay, warm and bright. Jake. I'm going to do, let's invert this and bring that down, bring the highlights down a little. Just going to come here and just bring the pinks down on that sky a little bit. They were pulling a little bit pink. Okay, right, let's take this into Photoshop and I will show you how I do a expand crop on this. Okay. Let's go generate. Out of these three, I think that one's okay. That one's okay. I think I'll go with that one. Yeah, we'll go with that one. It's obviously, I had a little bit of artistic license over here because this is actually houses, but that's all good. We can work with that. I'm just going to come in here and just see if we can blend this in a little bit better. Actually preferred it before. Right, let's get rid of this little thing here, and this over here is not quite right. So let's do that. There. That's a much nicer crop. So then we can literally just exit out, press save, and that will take us back into Lightroom, and it will save a version of that in Lightroom. So down the bottom you can see I've got two now. I've got one that's, it says edit TIFF, and one that's the original. So for me, I then just deflag this, and then I keep that one. So then we'll come across to this one, and let's go again for amber. See how this looks. Cute. So I'm just going to lift up the shadows. I'm actually going to come for a background. I'm just going to darken the background slightly. That's better. And then we can come in for the people pop. I think we might do sort of bright and clear or beach. I think I'm just going to go for my regular people pop. So that's on, and then again I'm just going to come in and check this, bring that up. I'm actually just going to reduce it a little, and I might just bring the crop in there, and then I might just come in with a brush. Let's revive and lift shadows, and I'm just gonna, oh yeah, there, just gonna lift a little bit of the shadows in here and there. And of course, because I haven't done it yet, we'll go bottom up, and we'll just bring that eye up into the image. And you could do, again, you could do a radial here. I'm also just I'm just going to brush a little bit of dark here and here. Again, we just want the eye to be drawn into the image, so we can do that. Bring that up a tiny bit more. And then we could, as we have done before, we could copy our settings from this. So I'm going to have my people pop and my bottom up. I'm not going to do the background on this one because this is a different background. So I'm just copying and pasting those onto this image. And let's let's bring our contrast down on this. And lift up our shadows and lift up our blacks a little. Bring those shadows down a tiny bit. Let's bring that crop in. I can't decide if I want mum to be straight or wonky. I think I prefer it that way, so mum's kind of with the crop. Let's have a look with a different one. Love a triangle. If you've ever done anything with me, I talk about triangles a lot. So we've got our bottom up on. Oh, I forgot I added it with the brush. Let's take the brush off a minute. And then we'll just refine this. So bring that down. I am going to add a little bit of that up here. Easy peasy. People pop. I am going to make you a little bit warmer. Cute. Nice. Okay. So let's do amber. And let's lift those shadows and lift those blacks a little. I'm actually gonna bring the white balance down a tad. And I'm just going to reduce the contrast on her face and maybe just a little bit of the and then I'm going to crop this. I don't know if I'm gonna it's quite cute. I think I definitely want to keep it landscape and I want a bit of mum's face in it. Come in with our bottom up and then let's go people pop. And I'm also going to just bring the background a bit darker, just so she pops a little bit more. And just because her hair is a bit bright, I'm just going to darken top. No, that's the wrong brush, Carly. This one. And here a little bit. And I'm just going to copy the settings from this because it's very similar to this. Copy and paste those over. So we've got our bottom up, and I'm actually just going to add another linear gradient coming from this way a little bit. And let's go with the same settings for this. So we've got the same settings on this one, copied and pasted. Let's bring that pink down a little bit. And let's take the brush off of that. Don't need that. I'm actually just gonna, her dress is quite white there, so I'm just gonna add some warmth to it. And I also like to take away some of the saturation that kind of reduces that blue. think I'm going to crop this in. This crop, just so you can see these lines, I just find it really helpful. I want a bit more of mum there. Cute. And then let's do this sandy toes on the beach. We'll make that our last one. So let's apply amber. And then we want to just bring those whites down, bring those highlights, might add a little bit of contrast. And then obviously let's crop that. And let's go bottom up. But also I would like to add soft dark background. Just reduce that a little bit. So you can see before and after. And again, on this dress, it's just pulling a little bit blue. So let's bring the saturation down, add some warmth. And let's just warm her dress up ever so slightly. You could also do this with the colour picker, but when it's just such a little bit, sometimes you can use the colour picker and it can pick up other bits in the image. So I just find that's a little bit easier. But if we look at all of these images again, same as I've done in the past, you want to see them all together. So select what you've edited and then just view them all together. We haven't edited that one, so let's just remove that one and that one and that one and that one. Oh, we haven't edited this one. Let's do this one very quickly. We use copy and paste. This actually might be really nice in black and white, but we'll have a look at what we can do with this. Let's bring the pinks down, bring the exposure up, bring the white balance down a little, and then we've got our bottom up, which is also coming in from the side, up, got our people pop. So I like it on his face, but I'm not enjoying it on his hair, so I'm just gonna use a brush to remove that quickly, and I'm going to remove it just from mum here. And then I'm also going to crop this right in. I kind of like having mum's smile in it. See if we can. Yeah, I think that's okay. Right, so let's go to library. Let's have a look how these all look together. I think I'm going to warm this one up a little. And then let's go back and see. Better. Now it's been warmed up. So yeah, that didn't take too long. I think they make a really lovely set of storytelling images, and I would, obviously I've got loads more to edit, and I would pepper these throughout the gallery, but they are very, very beautiful. But I hope that helps, and if you've got any questions about my presets, then let me know.